Okay, so I kind of touched on my previous video about how there are multiple factors of relationships that make it to where we don't get what we want out of our relationship. And one of the biggest things that I have heard people talk about, and I kind of touched on this before, was control in relationships. And to me, that is one of the most difficult parts of a relationship if you are in that situation. Things seem great for a minute, but soon you're isolated from your family and friends. You're not able to do what you want to do. You get criticism like no other. They start to, just criticize you for all that you are. And they start compromising with you. If you'll do this, I'll do that. If you want this, you'll do that. Um, it's like they make you do something for their love and attention. Using guilt. Guilt is a big one. If you loved me, you would do this. No, wait. Um, Often controlling people are those that are stuck in your phone, like they don't trust you. So they're going to be looking in your camera roll. They're going to be looking at your messages, your Facebook, your Instagram. Anything that you have on your phone becomes theirs. They're going to be looking and snooping and giving this threat of you have to let me see it or I don't believe it. Um, they become very jealous often. Um, or paranoid even. You get some paranoia in with that. Um, they if you ask for 25 minutes in the bathtub, they automatically assume that you're in the bathtub having sex with the air or something. Like controlling. We're talking severely controlling. Okay. And with that being said, they go into bigger aspects of like belittling you for who you are, making you feel bad for who you are, and making you feel like you're not good enough, making you feel that like you're the problem, and with sex, you're the problem. Or if you want sex, you have to do this. And that's sad that it carries into this the control and the unhealthiness that goes into every part of this person is coming out and on you, and it becomes very dangerous. Okay. So those are some signs. Those are some signs that you're getting into a controlling relationship. And then there's some things that you need to do to reevaluate what's going on. Because I'm going to tell you, most generally, you don't run into a control situation unless you're deeper into a relationship. And I mean, you're past that phase of, I know that you can be dating and be dating for 2 weeks and somebody comes very controlling. But there's also times that you can get married to the point of married. And then once you're married, your whole dynamic changes because now there's that ownership, that ownership that there's you're mine and I can do it. It becomes okay. And it's not. It's not. Um, so it's really important that I want to talk to you about the signs. I want to tell you that there are things that you can look for. And I'm sorry, but if you are with somebody that says that you are not good enough unless you do this, if you love them, then you will do this. Give me your phone because it's mine and I pay for it. Any of the things above, if they listen to their tone and how they're asking, be aware of how or what is going on when things happen. Because, there's times that William will be like, hey, actually, me, I'm the one. Hey, can I use your phone? I'm not telling him to give me to his phone. I ask, can I use your phone? And if I don't ask for a vendetta or a reason, normally it's because I haven't charged my phone. And he keeps his pretty charged because he doesn't use his phone much. I use mine a lot. So if that's a situation, I'm not saying he's controlling or I'm controlling. I don't care. I just need to use your phone, you know? But if it's you come home for work and you're required to hand over your phone so they can dig through it, it's probably not good and we're not healthy. And we need to really think about what's going to happen because what will happen is 9 times out of 10 one person will shut down. They'll become very conformative. They'll become very naive to what's happening. They'll be blinded. They don't see what's happening. They don't understand that the reason they're not seeing their family is because they've not been allowed to. Um, they don't see that they have no choice in that relationship. There's no choice, but there's a lot of rules. And it becomes very lonely, and it's very hard and dark. A lot of times family and friends don't even know that it's happening until it's happened. Like, oh, I didn't realize that you weren't coming around because of him. Now there's some families that are like got radars like you wouldn't believe, and they're detecting that shit like no other. But there are times that the one that is controlling has found a way to get around everywhere to where it's okay. They make it okay. And for that, it's hard. The pain that you start feeling immediately when you realize that they are controlling you, you're like, what happened? You're like, why am I not good enough? You start doubting yourself. You start um and telling yourself it's your fault, like, oh, I did something wrong for this to happen. And the pain that starts feeling instantly then allows you to become numb. So we often see that people stay with controlling people because that person is now numb and they're conforming and they are just living their life, doing what they need to do, unaware of what's going on and how unhealthy their relationship is. Um, I had a client one time that came in and says, I don't really know that I need therapy, but my boyfriend says I need therapy or we're gonna break up. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Well, that's a problem right there. I was like, so does he want to come with you? And he's like, no, 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 they're fine. I'm the problem. And my heart broke for this girl. She's pregnant with number 5. She's on baby dad number 5. She's living a very torturous life. Yet she's so strong and has the capacity to do all of this on her own. But she's conforming right now. She's in that conforming stage, and it's hard because she's pregnant. And so her emotions are all over the place, right? Well, with time, what happens is that it plays out like I figure it will play out. And now we're just a single mom and life is good. But it took a long time for that to happen. It took her losing herself completely, one day waking up and realizing that everything was not good. And I don't want people to get to that point. I don't want people to have to go to that point. I want you to see the red flags. I want you to understand that there are red flags. I want you to understand that it is okay to leave. I want you to know that it is okay to have a set of boundaries and to not let people run over that. And if they choose to try, you have the right to say no. You have the right to break up with them, because what will happen is if you break up with them, they will find their next victim and you will find the happiness. You will feel so much better just getting that breath of air that's not controlled. You will feel better about yourself and who you are. It will happen. Okay. So you have to remember that if you're in a controlling relationship and it's not what you want, you have to be okay leaving. You have to go. I am going to be honest. Therapy's hard. When we have somebody that's that controlling and somebody that's so worried about what their voice and words are said and matter, and they basically have rule the roost. It's hard to get into therapy and change that. It can be done, but it depends on the degree of the control, I guess you could say. Like, it depends on if they're willing to change. If you are able to talk to them and they're like, oh man, okay, I'll work on that. Then there's probably investment there, and you can, like I said, work on it. You could go to therapy. You could see change, because I'm not saying that nobody will ever change. I'm saying it's hard to see that change happen because of the conformity that the person gets into of allowing that to happen. And it's easier just to continue to do what has been working. So if you're the one that's controlling and you've been having everything happen the way that it's happened now, why would you change? You know? Um, I can hope that they would change. Um, but I can also hope that if you're the victim in that situation and you've tried to talk to them and they're not willing to make any changes, I want you to leave safely. I want you to get out of that situation because it's not going to get better. It tends to only get worse. And then you're 10 years in and you've lived no life of your own and you've only lived under the thumb of one person that's controlled everything you've done, and something happens to him and now you're left on your own and you are lost. It's a great thing because you're away from him. I hate to say it that way, but here you are 10 years in of loving him, being with them, doing whatever with them, and then all of a sudden it's gone. Well, you have to pick yourself up, and that's a lot of trauma in 10 years to have to take and heal. It's doable. You can heal. If you've been in a situation for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, it's still okay to step out. You will heal. If you want to heal, you will heal. You can reach out to a therapist. You can reach out for support from your friends. You can talk to people for resources. There's many things that are available to you, and it can be happy. You can be happy. But we're going to talk about that, like getting out of a relationship in the next video, because there's a lot to that, there's a whole lot to unpack with, leaving in a relationship that is essentially abusive, because living with somebody that's controlling is considered abusive. And we don't see it as abuse normally under the microscope because we're just used to the situation. We become adapt to the situation. We don't see what's happening. We don't see what's going on. But there is hope and there is a way to get out of this relationship. So what I want you to take away from this part of the video is the signs of a controlling person. And if you're sitting there going, oh shit, that's me. Oh, wow. Okay. It doesn't have to be male. It doesn't have to be female. Both male and female can be controlling. I have seen women be just more than controlling than men. So don't think that it's just male or female. I'm talking to anybody that falls to the victim of a controlling person. And I want you to just really soul search within and say, is this happening to me? And is it worth it? And then what I want you to do is I want you to come back to the next video, because I'm going to have tips and tools on how to get out of that abuse, how to get out of that cycle, what to do for you. Okay. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and close this out. I do want to remind you guys to like, share, and subscribe and hit the bell, because again, there's more videos coming out. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you and have a great day.